YouTube, we're here with the Spitfire 1.2m version from e-flite, Horizon Hobby. Really excited to try this. It's got safe select. Not that I care about safe, but I know some of you guys out there might. Show you how we get the battery in here. Basically got this little hatch, very light. It's got a magnet, and then it just keys in on the front. ES3X and safe receiver. Got a chunk of foam back here that's gonna hopefully prevent our wires from poking up into the servo controls. And we got a bind plug that's here ready to go if we ever have to rebind. We've redone with XT60 connector here. And the center of gravity mark when we get ready to measure is actually with gear down. It's right here on this black dot, which is the screw. So my hope is I can CG it, even though I know a low wing plane you could CG it this way. I would like to CG it this way. So this is what we're gonna be running on, 2200 3S 60C. If this plane doesn't do enough speed or I'm not happy with it, then we'll go to 4S 2200 60C. And but for now, I've not had a problem. I don't mind if these planes don't all go blazing fast, but this is a real pretty plane. We're going to be using just a little voltage alarm. We have a 5-minute timer. This is going to be the true Maiden for us. This is the first time I've flown this plane. Got some expo programmed in, all that stuff is set up, and we're hoping it's just fine. Have no reason to believe we're gonna have any issues with it because it's pretty much my standard protocol for all my warbirds. The one thing I am a little bit concerned about is just the fact that it's such a pretty plane. I really don't want to have any issues. Okay, so we have safe select on here, so when we initiate this, we have our throttle cut on, throttle sticks down. It's always awkward the first couple of times. You got to figure out where everything is going to fit in the plane. This has a really tight cavity, but that's kind of nice on 3S, but when it gets to 4S, it might be like way tight. Okay, I'm gonna let this initiate. Okay, so I won't be surprised at all if we have some trimming to do. So don't expect the sun, moon, and the stars from this flight. Just checking the battery's secure. This thing's stuffed in there. I want to just kind of more or less get things situated where I think they need to be, and then we'll kind of go ahead and test the CG, test the landing gear first, gear up. Okay, so now you can see where this mark is. So that's going to be, I think it's 78 millimeters back. We're somewhere between perfect and yeah, I think we're good. We're good for balancing out. You can see where the battery is. It's just kind of tucked up to that bulkhead. So if we put a 4S battery in here, it might actually be nose heavy, which is great because we can always move it back. We can't move it a whole lot more further forward. Okay, so now let's test our control surfaces. First things first, elevator up, down, rudder left, right, ailerons roll left, roll right. Okay, everything's working, and we've tested the gear. Now we just need to test the one thing that I haven't tested, which is the flaps. It's got split flaps, just per the manual. I may end up making them deploy a little bit further depending on how this thing flies. Okay, now we're gonna give it some power testing. I normally don't do this just because it seems unnecessary once you've vetted a plane. We're going full throttle. Power, power, power. Yeah, so just count to 5 or something. Make sure you keep getting power so you don't get up and then have to crash land the thing. Okay, so we're going to taxi a little bit. Good control authority. I feel like I'm going to need a little up elevator. I want to make sure safe is off. Okay, so we're going to take off this way toward the building so we get the cool sunset. Throttle cut is on and tested. Now what I want to do, testing that safe is off, safe is on, safe is off. Okay, so we should be good to go, and I'll give you guys what it looks like with some safe action. And throttle cuts off without further ado. Everything's ready to go. I feel like we're gonna have to trim a lot on that elevator, guys. She's up. Like I thought, I'm pulling back about, well, I would call it about 65–70%. You hear how many clicks I just did there? Okay, good. Otherwise, she feels great. Okay, no throttle. 30% throttle. Gear going up. Oh yeah, baby. That thing looks beautiful. Got a little bit of roll tendency to the right. Got that out of there now. Beautiful, beautiful plane, guys. Okay, so just gonna, let's go ahead and click safe on here. There's safe for you. Little down attitude. Okay, so now this is just safe, guys. About 100% throttle here we're dealing with. Kind of weird thing is it's really kind of slow. This is full throttle here. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Perfectly executed stall turn, baby. I am going to definitely be changing the control linkage points for the elevator. I want more elevator. Okay, let's do a lower speed pass. There's one click of flaps, no elevator correction. Full flaps coming by. Oh, buddy, that is beautiful. Riding the throttle, about 30% into the power, out of the flaps. And we'll just try to bring her right back around. Ooh, stalling on the top a little bit. Full throttle on the way down. Nice barrel roll. Oh, nice relaxing little roll there. We'll do a little rudder action here. Need a little more rudder authority, guys. I just like having authority on these planes, and some people don't. They just want them to fly a certain way. That's full throttle. Nice and quiet, man, with that 5-bladed prop. Oh, yeah. Okay, full landing flaps. Let's see how she slows down downhill. She don't slow down like the P-51, that's for sure, but she flies really good. I want you to step back 6 steps and to your left, please. See the lightning, guys? Okay, full speed pass here, again. We're going to stay up a little higher. And barrel roll. We're going to be rudder turning around, try to keep a nice flat level attitude, show you how this thing handles a rudder turn. A little contrary input from the ailerons. Okay, coming in full landing flaps. We'll throw the gear for a dirty pass. We're at 0% throttle. Here comes the gear. Beautiful. Staying away from light pull, out of the gear, into the flaps. Excuse me, out of the flaps rather. Feels weak, but guys, I don't think it's weak. I think what it is it's just not a real super fast plane. Need a little more up trim on the elevator. Full speed pass here. Little presentation. Beautiful. She is a pretty looking plane, guys. Full landing flaps here. We'll bring it right in front of us here again. Into the power. Beautiful sunset. I can't help but think, guys, she flies like a daydream. I need a little more authority on the elevator to be comfortable, to be honest. I could cut my expo back some. Okay, here we go. Full landing flaps. We'll see if we can get a touch and go here. Actually don't really need a lot of correction there. Look at those narrow wheels. Out of the gear. Okay, here we go. We're going to probably take a landing this time. Okay, that's our timer. Take off flaps, landing gear coming down. Coming by for a nice, slow, relaxed base leg. We're going to engage the landing flaps, cut back to about 30%. Keep those wings level. We're not in safe here. Keep the nose down. Oh yeah, guys, got to be the easiest warbird of the group, which I totally didn't expect because that narrow wheelbase just makes it look like it's going to be a handful. And to be perfectly honest, the only handful I have is the fact that I don't have enough elevator throw. And, you know, that can easily be resolved by 1 or 2 different items. A couple things I'm going to be changing on this plane right away. I'm going to be painting the prop tips to match the wing tips. I'm going to be painting the back sides so that they also can be seen from both sides. That's a nice little safety feature. So when you're picking the blade, throttle cuts on and tested, by the way. The other thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to probably go ahead and immediately, like while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and throw this up to the top setting. I just want more elevator throw, period. And we'll come back to you for a second flight. Why don't we pause it and we'll do a second flight? Is that all right?
Yep.
All right, guys, we increased the rudder throw by looking, I took it from the outside hole to the inside hole, and I also increased the elevator throw by going from the outside hole to the inside hole. Ailerons, I did the same thing, except I only went to the middle hole. I just felt like this thing needed a little more control authority in general. I'd rather be able to over control the plane and cut back my over control tendencies with expo. It's easy to have expo, just you don't move the stick all the way to the edge, but if you don't have authority, you won't be able to do it, okay? So everything's ready. The only time that's gonna screw you over is when you're running on safe or you have AS3X just really cranked up, so, or any other stabilizer for that matter. Okay, here goes nothing. One takeoff flap setting this time. 60C pack, 3S still. Kind of noisy landing gear out of the flaps, out of the gear. Okay, it does feel definitely a little bit more herky-jerk. There goes the AS3X fighting me a little bit. A lot better roll tendencies. You gonna trade me side space on?
Mm-hmm.
No, I meant like go by where our car is.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yep.
Whoa, look at that beautiful sun.
I know, the clouds are cool.
Lots better on the elevator. Need a little more trimming now because obviously there was a mechanical change. Only problem is I don't know if I have quite enough to get that taken care of. A little bit of down nose tendency here. Yeah. Full landing flaps, slowing it down. Oh, that's beautiful. Man, that thing just wants to fly. I am not going to sit here and say that this thing flies better or worse than any of the 1.2 meter warbirds that Horizon has out on the market, but I will give you this much. She is pretty. Okay, I want to adjust my linkages. Okay, landing flaps, landing gear, cut the throttle. She sure is pretty, isn't she? Long rollout, I must say. Ooh, don't you be rubbing your wingtips, you little turd. Okay, why don't you pause it, we'll get that adjusted real quick.
Okay.
Okay guys, you see how it's negative 100% on my elevator trim? Okay, watch the elevator now. I'm gonna run it all the way to neutral. Okay, so basically, the trim I was giving was bringing it right to level. So I just need to bring it out a little bit more. Throttle cut is on, by the way, guys. So another thing is, these planes get slick. So one trick you can do is if you can rest it on your toes. If you have flip-flops on, I know one of my viewers was very concerned about my toes getting damaged. I appreciate your concern. Okay, so basically I'm just gonna pop, why don't you get a view of what I'm doing over here. So I'm gonna pop this control arm off. I'm gonna collapse it again so it doesn't break. And I'm actually gonna bring this out. I need to put the radio down. It's in my way. Sometimes you can get away with doing it with the radio. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna run this out a little bit to bring the elevator up, okay? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably more than I needed, but I'd rather overshoot a little bit because I was at negative 100%, meaning I had no more to give. Okay, so we're gonna pop that open, running it back to where we had it before, which is the insidemost hole. And I'm guessing that we're probably a little bit overshot, but that's okay. There's never a good way to have a plane out of adjustment. Let's just put it that way. But there is such a thing as a subjective adjustment. Man, those clouds are pretty. Okay, so now I'm running my trim back. Okay, remember I had to bring it back to neutral? Okay, good. So everything is testing out good. Going back to fly. Takeoff flaps on. A little bit of torque roll tendency, we're fighting. Oh, beautiful takeoff. Got the gear coming up. Whoa, that looked a little weird. Man, look at those clouds.
So strange.
Okay, here we go. Full speed pass. No, about half speed pass. Okay, now I got too much up trim. So now I'm going to carry it back down. A couple of trims, a couple of clicks. Okay, I can live with that. I think we're good there. Sure makes it easy to see the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a low voltage warning in there. Feels good for roll authority. The yaw authority is probably a little bit better, but I got to kind of get it lined up first before I can really tell. Got one click of flaps here, a second click of flaps, about 30% power, keeping the nose down. I did a 5% tie there. Into the power, out of the flaps, going straight up. This thing should be very good at pulling itself out of a stall because of the 5-bladed prop. It's going to produce a lot of the low speed pulling force, but it's going to have a ton of drag, so the high speed performance might suffer a little bit. Kind of rolling a little. I'm not sure. I don't like the way it's rolling with the new settings. It seems like I'm getting the nose is kind of losing itself. Pulling up here. Full landing flaps. You got somebody flying down. Driving, also known as driving. Okay, so we're going to just bring this in about half throttle, take off flaps, getting into power, bring her around. So far, so good. Central security was just driving by, seeing what's going on. He's probably checking the building. Yeah, he's just checking the building out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're just gonna basically right here. We're at 2 minutes 27, and
Stay high.
yeah. Okay. Good. Looks like he's checking something there.
Yep.
Okay, let's take it into land and make sure he doesn't need something.
Okay.
They've been so good to us here. So, okay, gear coming down, flaps down, and you want to just give me a quick. Just make sure he's not coming over here.
Nope, he's not. He's
Cut the throttle.
just trying to keep him out of the picture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pause and let you
Okay,
go
yeah.
get it. Okay.
Okay, so we're back again. I adjusted these to the middle this time just to see if we get some of that wonky kind of roll touchiness out of it while still having kind of that balance of control authority that I desire to have. Up, right, left, okay, throttle, flaps off, flaps on. Okay, here we go. I think part of it is I just need to get, I've got a little trimming issue going here. Okay, let's bring it in. Yeah. Trim it down just a little bit. Okay, got it trimmed down, trimmed down. Okay, high speed pass here. See, I've got a little bit of a tendency to roll. I'm trying to correct it. It's kind of being a difficult thing. %, throttle here, just kind of cruising along. Trying to get my trims figured out. Give you guys some lightning shots there. Okay, leveling it out. Still got a little bit of a roll tendency. I wonder if it's a little rudder mixed in with my aileron issue. Okay, full throttle. Now it's ruddering to the left. A little more crisp roll response there. It's definitely better with the middle hole than it was with the all the way in. It was just too much there. Okay, full landing flaps. We'll try to do a bit of a touch and go here. Ooh, failing on it. That was a horrible one. kind of weird. Under throttle, this thing likes to do a little nosedive when you're coming out of the flaps. I don't like that. Okay, here we go. Don't like cruising along at 100% either. I mean, I don't need it to stay aloft. Okay, gear coming out. Dirty pass for you. See how it dives a little bit there? I don't like that. Could be a CG issue there. Rudder authority is good now. Feel like we kind of got the best of both worlds there. Very good pulling force there. Full landing flaps to slow it down on the way back down. Out of the landing flaps, full power. She's just very tame. She reminds me of the way the P-47 flew before we started flying it on 4S for my buddy. Very easy to fly plane. Full landing flaps. Don't even have to fight to keep that tail wheel up hardly. I am resisting. Oh man, it always likes to tip though because it's got that narrow wheelbase. I'll tell you one thing about this plane is it's very pretty, but it's almost like you don't need to take off flaps, which is weird to me. I mean, you don't really need flaps most of the time on radio controlled planes, but some planes you do. Let's take off here. That's near full rudder there, guys, just fighting that torque roll. Flying off into the thunderstorm there. Gonna bring it around. High speed pass here, coming. Off into the sunset. 43 seconds on the timer. Let's see if it'll roll nice and crisp for us. Roll rate's decent. Really, silhouette's bad without LEDs, I can tell you that. Okay, take off flaps here. Got our timer coming off right now. Full landing flaps. Cut the throttle. Whoa! Into the throttle. Sorry guys, that was kind of embarrassing. Okay, so I'm thinking, boy, it just really wonks on the ground, that's for sure. See that, guys? That's super annoying.
I'm sure it's not the parking lot's fault.
I think it's partly the parking lot's fault, partly the fact that, I mean, it could be that the linkage is actually not tight. It could be letting that wiggle. I think I got to get one more flight in, if you can handle it. Can you handle it? Yes.
Okay.
All right, 4S. Hopefully this does the ticket, guys. This is what it needs, I think. Just a little more juice. Here's the power I want. Out of the gear. Oh yeah, 50% throttle, 60% throttle there. Take off flaps, landing flaps. Let's see how she goes for a slow pass now. You need to probably trade spots on her. Oh, beautiful. Into the power. Going up. Oh yeah. Stall turn-esque. Gonna bring her around in these nice pink clouds so I can see it good. Kick off flaps, landing flaps. full landing flaps rather. Okay, into the power. Jeez! That's torque roll, buddy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to relax into a turn. I'm going to pull it back toward me. I'm going to fly in front of this cloud system. Get a little roll in there. That was a 30% pass there. Okay, here we go. And pass. I feed. 100% throttle there. Cutting back the power. Full landing flaps deployed. Slowing it down as fast as I can. Gear coming out. Okay, into the power. Gonna land it on this pass, I think, on.
Okay.
Full landing flaps, gear coming out into base slave. Gonna relax into this as slow as I can. Keeping the nose down. Timing the flare. Woo! Okay, I still have the same issue I had before on the ground handling, and I'm having no power issues now. Out of the flaps, throttle cut is engaged and tested. I don't know where it's hitting, but it's evidently not scraping it. Like, how is it not scraping that? That's crazy. I know I hit the ground. Is it scraping back here? I don't know. I'll probably have to do some wing scrape pads or something, because this thing is very narrow in the middle there. 4S is the ticket, guys. This thing needs 4S. It should be quoted as a 4S flying plane. Let's do the smell test. Nothing smells there. Nothing smells there. I think we're good to go. Got some good lightning shots. Honestly, I can't keep flying because I'm going to lose visibility. This thing is pretty dark in general. If I had my LEDs on here, I think we'd be good to fly a couple more flights easily. But what a beautiful plane. I still have one tendency I'm trying to work out, and I don't have a great explanation for it, but it's almost like a trimming issue as I'm flying, particularly when I'm coming in for landing. It feels like I'm coming in and I'm fighting it like this. I'm coming in at an angle, and I can't explain it because it's pretty much dead calm out here. I mean, it's as close to dead calm as you get out here. So anyway, one more shot of those beautiful landing gear. Oh yeah, that is so beautiful. And then let's just show you full throttle on 4S is a little bit different than full throttle on 3S.
Whoa.
I could hand launch the thing. I'm gonna stop that right now and test it. Guys, thanks for watching. Beautiful videos. I hope you enjoy the lightning in the background.